There's some wet cows. And here we have some windmills. This is one way the farmers can make a little extra money. But the cows don't like them. This is Sofiro. Until the 1970s, it was owned by the King of Sweden, and then he gave it to the local people on his death. In the early 1900s, the princess, or queen, I don't know, here was into gardening, and she has created quite an extensive collection of plants. And her husband liked rhododendrons, and there's about 10,000 rhododendrons, which of course bloom in the spring, and this is September. But look at this nice flower bed right by the entrance. These are rather unique. It's called the Romantic Garden.
Kitchen garden, and it was also tradition to have a Victorian kitchen garden in an English park like this. And here we have a mix of flowers and vegetables. Flowers will scare away damaging insects from the vegetables, which was of course a very organic way to grow your veg, and it was beautiful as well. We have different cabbages here in the second row, as you can see. And this is to inspire visitors here that when you sow, if it's lettuce or if it's cabbage or something else in your own garden, you don't just have to do straight rows like this. You can be a bit artistic. What they didn't think about was the heating, because our climate here is a bit colder than in England. So the first winter, the gardener of Sofiro, who lived in the cottage behind the hothouse, he had to fire his open fireplace for this house as well. They were digging a hole in the ground, and they had tubes leading in the heat to the wine house. But this
is inside the greenhouse, and the grapes are pretty close to being ready to be picked. Really cute fuchsia. This is the rose garden, but what do you expect in September in Sweden? Must be pretty in May and June. This is a wishing well, and people throw in money. And it started to rain, but I have found the dahlia gardens. One of the largest dahlia gardens in all of Scandinavia. Here's another greenhouse, and we are going in because it is pouring and blowing. It's 1905, Prince Gustav and Margaret Mountbatten from England, and they're responsible for these gardens. This is how the house looked in 1866 when it was first built. This ravine is full of rhododendrons. I do see there's a path down there, but in the spring I'm sure it's quite beautiful. Well, here's a nice curved staircase going up, and that's probably the Prince and Margaret on their wedding. Past the small grand piano into the formal dining room, where we are not dining. Nice cabinet, and into the kitchen. But we are in here, which has a nice view out to the ocean and Denmark, I guess. Now that we're ready to leave after a very nice lunch, the sun has come out. And out here on this lawn during the summer, they have concerts for as many as 10,000 people. And the one name I remember her saying that's performed here was Bob Dylan. Nice fuchsias and little daisies up here against the house.
When you're coming out, everyone, you have, let's say, within a
that is Denmark.
50-kilometer radius around here, you have about 25 different castles. So it's but she was a smart lady because she formed the Union of Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, one that sails through these waters. So, how do you get people to pay? How do you power? Well, that lasted until around the 1700s. You're going from 14 to around mid-1700s. And this is the Kalmar Union. And this is also when they took over, and they started doing a separate thing. So they said, we're going to tax your cargo. It's the one who put this levy on everyone. Boy, they would fill their banks and their, like I said, their coffers, all from this tax, this levy. Denmark became a very rich country. But this is the history of this waterway. A lot of fighting, a lot of trading. Here it is on your left, everyone. That's your medieval fortress.
This is called the Twisting Tower. Interesting building in Malmö, Sweden. Here's our first view of the bridge.
And look over to the left and you can see all the wind turbines. Remember I was telling you yesterday, now they're more out into this Baltic.
Those wind turbines must be spinning
now,
today.
Yes, the wind can be quite strong here. And yes, they will shut it down if the wind is too strong. And now you can see the planes coming in, so you're going to see where this airport.
Just crossed into Denmark on this bridge.
Denmark.
And this artificial island
Denmark.
out here.
What do you know about Denmark?
One's called salt, the other one's called
They are
pepper.
considered, according to the European community and United Nations, and when they've done all these, you'll see them on the top of their list, but they are considered the happiest people in the world. Even if it's like a car. Now we're going to go under right now.
The tunnel.
Baltic.